Sunflower Bean, Headful of Sugar, album review, let's chat about it. Hey guys, what's going on? John here from What's Spitting, here tonight to chat about this latest album from Sunflower Bean. They are a New York-based indie rock group. They've been at it for a few years now. I first caught wind of these guys and gals around the time that they opened up for Foxygen when I was seeing them, and actually they kind of really excited me at the time. I thought that they brought a lot of passion, the performances were really great, and I wanted to hear more of them instantly, and I got around to checking out their debut album, Human Ceremony, and I know a lot of people were lukewarm on it, but I actually kind of liked it. This was a really sharply written album with some big choruses and nods to glam rock, post-punk, psych rock, and more. I was all on board, but then around the time of their follow-up album, 22 in Blue, I was kind of left wanting a lot more. I loved the singles leading up to this album, but I thought the energy was way down here. If anything, I thought their last EP, King of the Dudes, was so much better. It showed them really focusing their sound, sharpening up their licks, and most importantly, they were kind of going for a more power pop sound, and I thought that was a really great twist. Now, this new album, Headful of Sugar, goes in a completely different direction than where they were originally going in. It shows them going into more power pop once again, some neo-psych as well, and I loved most of the singles, and you know what? Most of this album is them really kind of finding themselves. This album starts off with Who Put You Up to This, and I really love this as an intro. It's not punchy, it's not wild, nothing super catchy either. But it's really blissful, it's really sweet, it's really dreamy as well. It's just the right amount of spaciness for their music. Like, you could take this track in so easily. I love the guitar solo here, I love the vocals, it's really breezy. I love this as an intro, I really do. In Flight is really classy too. I mean, they've kind of been toying around with psychedelic rock for a while now, and I've been neither here nor there on it, but this seems to be a really good medium for that. It's got a great melody. I love how gloomy it is. I mean, the lyrics on this track alone just hit hard. It's also really hypnotic. I love this. Now, Roll the Dice, on the other hand, is a completely different breed of Sunflower Bean. This is one of the gnarliest, heaviest, and crunchiest tracks they've ever put out. This track is filthy. I love this blaring riff that this track starts off with. Where did that come from? The group vocals are a really great touch, too. I love the way they just kind of crash into one another. This is a wild-eyed track that really caught me off guard. It really is an album where you don't know where you're going to hear next. I Don't Have Control Sometimes is really great as well. This shows them kind of going back to that post-punk roots that they had in their early days. But it's really refreshed, it's super focused, and I love hearing them in this more upbeat groove. I also just really love Julia Cumming as a vocalist. I think she's a real badass. I love some of her very wild performances that we get. This is definitely one of them. It's personal, it's got a little bit of a spunky attitude. This is a great sound for them. Like I said, this is an album that's really exciting because you don't know what you're going to hear next. And a lot of this album is them really focusing their sound and kind of finding themselves, which I love. The only issue is there are still some really awkward moments where they just sound a little lost still. Like Other Side, for example. This track is rough. I think it's the worst one here. This is a great example of a track where Sunflower Bean out of nowhere just don't really seem like they have much of a direction. I don't really have any redeeming qualities about this track. It's a big oof. This album's title track, on paper, sounds really exciting. I mean, what's not to like about this track? On paper, I should say. The hazy production, the layers of guitars, the spacey riff. This is all stuff that I just love. But it's, once again, coming off really directionless at the end of the day. Then we get tracks like Beat the Odds, which is really just a big letdown, because I love a lot about this track. I heard that big gnarly riff come in. I was excited and ready. But this just flops so hard. This sounds like Sunflower Bean trying to be something that they're not. It's rough, and we get moments here where they're trying to freak out pretty hard. It's not pretty. And Feel Somebody as a finale is a letdown too. I mean, this track, it's not the worst thing ever. There are some redeeming qualities to it. I certainly get the appeal. Once again, I feel like this track, this sound from Sunflower Bean isn't coming to them as easily as, other tracks here. I mean, it's very glitzy, it's got a lot of character, but as far as songwriting goes, a performance goes, you gotta look elsewhere. Still though, the good definitely outweighs the bad, and this is their best material in a while. I love Stand By Me. I feel like I've been a little more negative towards the slower, more spacey tracks like this, but this is the way to do it. The lyrics and the vocals are just so sweet. And the vocal performances on this track are really some of the best on this entire album. This almost comes off like a cover, but I don't mean that as a slight. It sounds really great. Post Love is honestly really great too. This was a great single. I love this very glamorous atmosphere on this track that brings me back to the glam rock elements of their early work. But alongside this punchy riff, this big hook, this is all I need. Not only that, but on tracks like this, they carry themselves wonderfully. It's so confident. Most of this album is, and Baby Don't Cry, my favorite single here. I think it's the best track here. This is so sharp. It has the power pop elements of their EP King of the Dudes, but I loved that. Not only that, but it's just a really great jump-in point if you're new to their music. Bulky riff, the sweet vocals, I want to hear more in this vein, and soon. Yeah, a lot of this album's really good. A lot of this album is some of their most confident and focused material in some time. They spend a lot of this album really finding themselves. There's only a few tracks here that are really off-putting, but it's tough because in those moments they sound just really lost once again. They do need to sharpen up still a little bit. They could still grow a little bit more. They're all very young, but still, this is their best work in a while. Definitely check this out. I'm feeling a strong 7 on this album, but let me know what you guys think down below. If you liked the video, be sure to give us a like, give us a subscribe, and let me know down below what you would like for me to chat about in the future. And until next time, have a great day, guys.